My name is Terje Sagvolden. I'm a professor at Institute of Basic Medical Sciences at the University of Oslo. I'm also the editor of Behavioral and Brain Functions, an open access journal at Biomed Central. I've been interested in ADHD research for many years, simply because it's a fascinating area of research. ADHD is a disorder that is as prevalent in the developing world as in the developed world. And we have an excellent animal model that helps us to understand what goes wrong in the brain of ADHD children. So we are actually working on many different levels, from mathematics to anatomy to behavior to clinics. So trying to understand a little of each of these pieces. It's a long way to go, but it's really fascinating. Behavioral and Brain Functions has a wide scope. It's the first journal that combines behavior and brain functions, but it also covers behavior in itself. And it's the first journal in this field. So what I've been recruiting are an editorial board that covers the entire world, dedicated people that are also active in IBRO, and I have associate editors both from pure behavior, genetics, child psychiatry, so you cover a large field and a large field of expertise. When you submit the manuscript to BBF, Behavioral and Brain Functions, or other open access journals with Biomed Central, Biomed Central has provided services to the editors that makes the editing process very fair, much fairer than I have encountered in other traditional paper journals. There are standard ways of submitting the manuscript. The editors are helped to find the most appropriate and relevant referees. The communication is all the time on internet, and the editor is able to work with you on your manuscript to produce the best possible result. The turnaround time for a manuscript submitted to an open access journal like Behavioral and Brain Functions can be very short. If you submit a good manuscript that the referees like, and you are quick when revising your manuscript, it could be published in much shorter time than in a traditional journal that has to fill all the pages of a certain issue before your article is published. With articles and research published on the internet, you can do many things that's impossible to do with a paper-based journal or a book. You can have free access to not only to color figures, but you could have three-dimensional figures. Many structures, for instance, in anatomy, are very difficult to see if you can't rotate them. If you could put colors on them in addition, that would help the reader to understand your results. It's also helpful to use videos to explain the reader how the task you give the subjects are actually phrased to the subject, how the subject behave in your task. So a video can explain much more than just words, especially if you have restricted space, as you often have in traditional journals, paper-based journals. You can submit your data so that other people can reprocess your data with their techniques, and you get much more out of your data and the money you spent in open access and internet-based journals than you could with a regular paper-based journal. I've been involved in research in the developing world especially Africa, through the International Brain Research Organization, where I'm a member of the library committee. And I've, for many years, been very committed to try to help researchers and other in the developing world to get access to literature, so that literature should not only be reserved for the rich part of the world, but also to the poor part of the world, because they have problems with raising funds for their journals, to raise funds for buying books. So an open access journal is an excellent chance for people in the developing world to read good medical and other literature. So that is the basic motivation for me to be involved in open access publishing.